going back to what we were talking about a little earlier about the national psyche and so on, one of the authors, I don't remember which one, said something that really hit home for me, is that one aspect of our American myth is that we are the savior. You were talking about the John Wayne guy who rides up on the horse, but this is part of our self-image as a nation, that we are the savior, that we can democratize the world, that we can rescue people and so on, and that we have suffered a wound in that place with the tragedy of 9/11 and some of the other things that have happened since then, the financial collapse. And so we're not sure of ourselves anymore and so many of us want to deny that and make America great again.
Right.
You
talk about such a prominent principle that's well represented in Jungian thought, is this idea of transcending opposites. And
yes.
And there's a good example that absolutely, I think there's a great deal to be said. Steve mentions it. I think Tom Singer's chapter also mentions it, that, we even have phrases for it now. If you think about the idea that's so often bantered around by pundits of American exceptionalism, as if we are exceptional in a way that's even more exceptional than exceptional would ordinarily be,
Yeah.
And I think an argument can be made that gets even more stoked up by the fact that we have suffered some deep and humbling wounds. I mean, maybe it's my age that causes me to think I can go back to our defeat in Vietnam, the defeat of a president in his impeachment with Nixon, where, the imperial presidency that we might have seen the last days of with Kennedy and Johnson saw its demise. And then we have, the economic slide. And then you follow that with 9/11 and the fact that, we have been meandering through. We went into Afghanistan and kind of retraced the steps of Russia, if you will. I think some of those things we could make a case for have been collective wounds to the spirit of the nation. And so the antithesis of that is, how might we kind of recover a sense of our exceptional nature? And that's why I think, again, to the extent that we remain oblivious to those forces, we are more at risk of being ensnared by them, not just by an individual, but really as a society.
Yeah, some people want to sort of deny or gloss over that and say, hey, we are exceptional, we're great, we need to reclaim that. Then there are other people who are more of, hey, we have to own up to our losses. We have to own up to our own part in creating some of the problems that we see many of the problems that we see in the world. And so then the different political leaders can play to one side or the other of that conflict that actually exists within us.